The Yukon River explained in under 3 minutes. Chapter 1. The flow of the Yukon River. Every spring, when the temperatures in the Rocky Mountains rise and the snow and ice starts to melt, one of the mightiest rivers of the planet emerges. Starting off as a glacial meltwater stream from the Levelland Glacier in British Columbia. From the glacial lakes, the stream flows northwards, entering the Canadian province of Yukon, which is named after the river, and hundreds of glacial meltwater streams fill the canyons. After entering Alaska, the Yukon has grown to around a third of its final size and starts heavily meandering through the Yukon-Tanana upland. The forces of time have created vast floodplains around the main stem, at points spanning over 10 kilometers into the surrounding land. Continuing towards the Pacific Ocean, the ever-growing river reaches its maximum flow at almost 20,000 cubic meters per second before discharging across a nearly 100-kilometer or 60-mile wide delta. Chapter 2. Fun facts about the Yukon River. One of the most incredible features of the river are its intense annual flow changes. With the annual snowmelt beginning in early May, the Yukon River turns from a small insignificant sediment-filled creek to one of the largest rivers in the world. Within just a short span of 1.5 months, the river flow grows 20-fold to almost 3 times the maximum flow of the Nile, the longest river in the world. The river provides an enormous potential for the generation of hydroelectric power, but looking at the population data of the region, it becomes clear why this is not utilized. Despite its enormous size, larger than countries like Turkey, France or Namibia, only 126,000 people call the drainage basin their home, of which 85% is accumulated in the cities of Whitehorse and Fairbanks alone. The rest of the land, especially on the US side, is largely split up by the Bureau of Land Management, wildlife refuges and national parks, which together take up almost 70% of the land. This sparse population is also the reason why the river only has 4 vehicle-carrying bridges spanning it, despite the 3,200-kilometer or 2,000-mile long course. Chapter 3. The Yukon River in History. For hundreds of years, the Yukon River has been inhabited by several First Nation groups, mainly the Yupik Eskimos who live along the Bering Sea coast, and the Athabaskan Indians who occupy the remainder of the basin. They lived off of the vast salmon populations and other game of the region until European competition arrived in the early 19th century. The Hudson Bay Company from the east and Russian settlers from the Bering Strait chased the plentiful fur animals in the 1850s, and the 1896 gold rush starting in the Klondike River in Canada, a tributary to the Yukon, led thousands of miners to the remote tundra. Mining and fishing has remained the backbone of the people around the Yukon, but its remoteness impede the competitiveness of the mined products, holding back much of the growth of the region. Apart from the construction of the Alaska Highway, which made ship traffic on the river obsolete in the 1950s, much has stayed the same around the Yukon Basin. Thanks for watching, subscribe and leave the like if you want to see more like it. Cheers.